Well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing and who you're lucky enough to be doing it to, I'm Bushka on Blitz and I'm doing it to you today. Here in Mr. Lover Lover, the look of Lowe. Could this be Lowe? All these things. Make your own jokes, boys and girls. I do. I'm a dad. I'm allowed to say things like that. This is my only decent tank on the NA server. You can see I'm running it generally around 320 ping, which you'd think would be a bad thing, but the tank's so bloody slow, it doesn't make much difference. And the gun's so bloody accurate, it doesn't make much difference. If you're going to run a high ping tank, this could well be the one for you. A little bit of simple application of tank physics and tactics, and you can rock and roll with the best of them. Now, before I go any further, the Patreon thing has been fantastic. We've created a Patreon-only Telegram channel for people that sponsor the channel. We've created a constant series of events. We had a patron event yesterday on the NA server, which was hilarious. I had an absolute barrel of laughs. And it's great to put everyone in a room in Discord and have a chat. We've got a patron Discord channel. So there's been lots of things going on for sponsors of the channel. And while I talk about it, the webpage is going gangbusters, starting to post up there, a little bit of op-ed, and it's all been good fun and giggle. So make sure you check out bushkaonblitz.com, www.bushkaonblitz.com. The Lowe, what we're here to talk about. This is a tank that's long been overdue, and I never owned it on the Asia server. And I bought it on NA when I moved over here because I wanted to have a tank so that I could play with patrons and friends on NA server that I've made over the past wee while, and also try it out because it's been the recipient of a few buffs in recent patches, and I am so happy I did because it's a joyous tank. It is, as a polite British politician would tell you, a bit fat-bottomed, but it is certainly a glorious gun for a tier 8 premium tank. Premium tanks tend to have a real problem with their guns. They're generally low pen or low DPM or very massive dispersion, and they make up for the fact that they're not stock tanks that have these excellent guns because they build awesome amounts of credits. Well, the Lowe does that, but it's got probably the red hottest, most fun premium tank gun at tier 8 on a heavy tank at the very least. What's so good about it? 0.33 dispersion and a 2.3 second aim time is very un-heavy tank-esque. The penetration numbers are very much like the T-34, which is another excellent pen heavy tank that was always seeing tier X and hence had excellent premium penetration stats. The Lowe has 234mm of pen on its AP and 294mm of pen on its APCR. And both those numbers are very, very good and very reminiscent of an excellent stock gun. In fact, they're better than most. Like, they're better than the BL9's penetration numbers on the IS-3. They're going to be better than most of the tanks that you drive at standard tiers. And you can see here, I've got my good mate, War Chief, coming up. We ran an unlikely bet, fellows. The Lowe and the RU-251 in platoon, and were hilariously successful. We had a 13-win streak on NA, running these at 300 plus ping, taking turns, doing well. Now, the gun means that while you do not have huge alpha, you've got 310 alpha, which is a fairly solid alpha roll, and you don't have massive DPM. What you do have is a very, very easily applied damage per minute number because you don't miss as often as you do in other tanks. That 0.33 dispersion in a really stable gun platform means that you will often be able to count on getting a lot more shots in than the guy in the IS-6 or the guy rolling the IS-3 Defender. And I'm not saying that it's a better tank than those, I'm saying it's a different tank, and if you use the gun to actually be successful, you'll kill it in this tank. It's also a hell of a lot more trollish armour profile-wise than you expect. I was really surprised at how many bounces you can get in this tank and how many times you can side scrape in this tank, because in one of the more joyous and something I really didn't expect to come out of +1, -1 matchmaking events, Tier 8 has become really, really chock full of big ass heavies. And that's not something I envisaged happening. And you can see here I'm just trying to get between Warchief and this Pershing and save his butt, but there's an IS-3 on the other side of the map's going to kill him anyway. It's something I didn't envisage as much as I should have, because people are grinding credits at tier 8. So they're driving big heavy tanks at tier 8. And what that means is you're actually getting games that are very much like my initial contact with Blitz, where you have side scraping going on, and you have face hugging going on, and you have lots of wiggling going on. And the Lowe is outstanding at these things. You can side scrape this tank. You will hit an awful lot of targets that you may miss in snapshots with other tanks, and it's just a joy to drive. I would highly recommend this tank, and I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay. This is actually in a trading room I got invited into on NA. Just a whole bunch of randoms running around, mostly Triari guys, having a great old time. Tier 8 match, really good fun. And the louvers, you're going to see what I mean about applied DPM. Because of the accuracy of the weapon, and I'm also, don't forget, running APCR Deluxe here, because it is a training room, and they're all trying to kill me, so I'm definitely going to be running all the premo I can. You can see how quickly we get these shots in on this AT and the STA-1. Obviously overkill on the STA-1, but we're hitting the hatch on the AT with no problems whatsoever. Just backing it up, getting the gun working, constantly hitting our targets, lovely big pen on your premo, and it's mobile enough. It's actually got 30 degrees of traverse. So while it's slow in a straight line, it's got 35 kilometers an hour as a top speed. It's not the top speed that you will get to that often. I've got to admit, it's a heavy tank. It's nearly a 100-ton tank. It doesn't have great acceleration. The engine isn't really strong enough to make it a super mobile heavy, despite the fact that it has 30 degrees of traverse and 24 degrees of turret traverse. You can see there, whoever is driving the Lowe is a boss. Love it. And I'm always gun shy about taking compliments. 35 kilometers an hour makes it a fairly slow heavy, but for all that, it's quick enough to support mates when they get out in the flanks and push. And it's quick enough to get to the strong spots. It is not super quick. It's not an IS-8. It's not an IS-7. It's nothing like that. Its engine really struggles power-wise getting up the hills, and the armour is trollish. It's not the kind of armour where you can just sit still. You've got to learn to wiggle it. You've got to learn to angle it. You've got to look for opportunities to side scrape it off walls and hills and rocks and mounds. So it's probably not exactly the easiest armour to put into work, but for all that, it's a great tank. And the gun just absolutely makes it. You can see how often here, with 234mm of pen, we take a snapshot and it just goes in. Because 2.3 seconds of aim time isn't a huge amount. And I run it with a V-stab, a rammer, and vents. I really want to maximize everything I can in terms of DPM, crew skills, gun handling. That's why I run the vents. I also run rations with it. And the rations, and it pays for it deluxe. When we had the last true credit coefficient numbers we could find, which was quite a few patches ago, but I don't believe they've been adjusted down. The Lowe was king of the hill. I think it was 188% as a credit coefficient. That is a massive, absolutely massive number. The Victory is right up there with that. That's like 185%. And if you want to grind credits and you're looking for a tank that can hit, look at these shots. Really quick shots taken with a heavy tank, and you just constantly find them going in. And if you treat it like a mobile gun platform, where all you really want to do is take easy shots. I mean, you can see that T-32 there has actually got a really good angle, and we missed that one. We got him, but it just didn't pen. Then you can be very, very successful in this tank. You've got to be methodical with it, because like most heavy tanks, it doesn't have the luxury of relocating on a whim like you would in, say, an RU-251, which Warchief is running around in. And I must say, I've never driven with a RU-251 driver who is so blatantly YOLOing. We had a game where he basically drove through the entire enemy team and spotted them by touching each and every tank as he went past on Winter Malinovka, and he survived it on like 15 hit points. It was fantastic stuff. Great giggle to drive the tank like that, always. And you can see we switched over APCR there. Massive overkill for the back of a KV4. But you can fire APCR on this tank. The tank has such amazing credit coefficients that it just returns all the time. I don't have a premium account on NA, and this thing was earning great guns. I'm just highlighting this gun. The gun is absolutely exceptional, especially considering it's on a heavy tank. So you couple the gun with very decent mobility in terms of turn fighting. It can get its ass around in a turn fight, and an exceptionally good credit rating, and you've got a great premium tank. You've got a great heavy, in fact. It's more than adequate for going out there. And I mean, I'm running this thing at 65% on a 320 ping NA server. It's on that's with a non-premium account, and that's exactly what the Lowe is. It's an unsung hero. It used to be terrible. It used to be known to be a terrible tank, and that all changed up. And basically now it's absolutely level pegging in my mind with, say, an IS-6. An IS-3 Defender may well have a little edge on it just because of the ability to absolutely smash damage in with heat. On the Defender, you can put 3 in the pipe at 400, and the fact that the armour is so ridiculously trolley. Look at these shots. You're not making those in an IS-3 Defender and an IS-6. You might be able to aim one up after a while and get it in, but look at the speed that the Lowe just turns up and puts the damage in on the very, very corner of that Tiger 2. I mean, such a reliable weapon is hard to come across, and it's exceptionally hard to come across in premium heavy tanks. The IS-6's 0.43 dispersion when I first bought it was absolutely horrific, and the horrible pen. Now they've buffed the IS-6 a touch in terms of credit coefficient too, because they want to make it competitive in this new environment of +1, -1 matchmaking. But for me, I really enjoy the Lowe. If I could swap my IS-6 for the Lowe, I would, because I'm the kind of player now that really appreciates good gun handling. And I've already got the Defender, and that's kind of taken the slot of the IS-6 that it once held. It's a very strong armour profile, it's got a big derpy gun, and a high 400 alpha. So there you go, that's the Lowe, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed making it. It's been fun to get over there on the NA server and see exactly what's going down with the humans and how they're doing the business. Now, just of note there, you can see what I'm talking about with the credits. Obviously, without a premium account, I'm making just under 28,000 credits with the tank after that lovely 3,500 damage game. With a premium account, well, it jumps up. My end result with the credits is another 40,000, another 42,000 credits. That's 70,000 credits, even using the wasteful amount of premium ammunition that I use there. So you can really see that it is very much worthwhile in terms of an investment. If you're looking to make a name for yourself in the credit grinding community and you want to make a whole heap of cash and fund your other purchases and other tanks, then the Lowe is a wonderful place to start, particularly if you're a fan of good gun handling and solid trollish armour. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You've been lovely as always. There's plenty more coming up on the channel. Make sure to visit the website www.bushkaonblitz.com, and if you're interested in sponsoring the channel, click on the big orange P either on the YouTube banner or on the webpage itself. Stay safe in the battlefield, humans. Until next time, bye for now.